Hello Ottawans and Ottawastanians from around the globe. Today's video is on one of the most important concepts in the game, war support and forced surrender. If you don't understand this, you could be making some terrible mistakes in your decisions that could be easily corrected and easily bring your game to that next level you've been searching for. I just want to mention that this is a re-upload of a video on my channel that was having technical difficulties. The screen layouts are from a previous patch, but all the information holds true to this day and is still super important. If you want to see different videos like line of sight or combat strength, those are all on my channel, and you can feel free to hit like or subscribe to see more similar content in the future. Thanks so much and enjoy.
War support and forced surrender. There's a lot of things in Humankind that are completely different from other games. Take Civ 6 for example. If you want to wipe your enemy off the map, you can just keep killing.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
Smashing that refuse demand button over and over and over again until they're a penniless dog.
The bank takes the building, takes your farm, takes your car, and beats the crap out of you. Penniless, you die.
But in Humankind, the other team is forced to surrender when their war support hits 0. If you check out the relationship, at the top of the screen you'll have this little war support bar. When the war support gets to 0 for somebody, the war ends. No matter what, you don't have a choice. And at this point, you come to the bargaining table. We're here to make a deal. Once a war is over, you'll come to this page, the surrender terms page. You'll notice on the bottom here a row representing used war score. That's how much war score you've accrued throughout your war. Think about the rest of the surrender terms like a table of things you can buy with your war score. Each city here is 80, or you can make them here your vassal for 225, and whatever you don't use will be paid out in gold. 1 war support is equal to 30 gold. So how did you get this war score? Well, war score is calculated in the following way. It takes your war support when you finished out of 100, plus the value of the cities you've captured. So the higher this number of war score is, the more you can bargain for at this negotiation table. Now, if you weren't diligently planning your war like a certain European country, you might not get everything you wanted out of it. Now, war in Humankind is a zero-sum game, unlike a lot of other things in life. I know, bringing it back to those useless economics classes you took. A zero-sum game basically means a person's gain is equivalent to another's loss. If you want to walk away from the table with as many chips as possible, you gotta do 2 things. The first is maximize the amount of war score you've accrued. The second is lower the cost of the items you kind of want to negotiate for. Let's start with that. Now, before you even get started, you have to take this super simple step that'll help make things cheaper once you finish the war. If you have any grievances at all with them, enforce the demand before you start. You'll see here, I enforced this demand for a bordered territory. And it shows up right here under my demands. You'll see once I won the war, cities I didn't have a demand for cost me roughly 80 war score. And cities where I did press a demand, although I have no option but to select it, it only cost me 10, which is nothing. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you want a specific city from a war, it will be cheaper if you occupy it at the end of a war. So it's important you have that city under your control. Keep this in mind and we'll circle back to it in a minute. So we've talked about minimizing the cost, but now we want to talk about maximizing the amount of war score you finish the war with. You want to try and hit 100% war support, or as close as you can by the time the war finishes. The war ends when the opponent has 0 war support. It's not a given you'll have a high war support by the end of the war. So it's important not to squeak out a victory here, but really just to crush their souls.
Kill him! Kill all of them, I command it!
Here's some of the ways you can get war support. The first is be a militarist culture. You get 30 war support right off the bat, just because of your affinity. It kinda makes sense. So if you know, hey, next era I plan on going to war with my neighbor, it's probably smart to pick a militarist culture.
Everybody in the USA hates their stupid neighbor.
Not only will this improve your war support, but you'll get bonus fame for killing units. It's a win-win. If your opponent retreats, it'll give you some war support. A victory in battle will give you war support. If you destroy an enemy district or administrative center, also known as outpost, it'll give you some war score. But just hold on to this one because we're coming back to it, it's super important. On the flip side of the coin, if you retreat, or if you lose battles, you'll lose war support. If you lose a territory and have it occupied by another player, you'll lose -4 per city per turn. If you declare a war before you have 80 war support, it'll be considered unjust, and this will lose -2 per turn. If an enemy proposes a white peace and you refuse, you also lose war support. Your proximity to the enemy will also affect it. If you're far away, you'll lose roughly 1 per turn. But finally, having low stability when declaring a war will also affect you negatively, to the tune of -3 war support per turn. So we've discussed how to maximize your war support. But what if you're too good at it? You're following step number 1, capturing as many cities as possible so that when you come to the negotiation table, those cities are cheaper. But in the process, you're killing and occupying cities and really lowering the opponent's war score. You might finish the war before you have all the territories you want. So how do you delay the war long enough to take all the cities you need? Well, you kind of want to give your enemy a little bit of war support. Okay, but when I get war support, my enemy loses it, and when they hit 0, the war is over, so... Well, I'm here to tell you about destroying districts and ransacking administrative centers. Once an outpost is attached to a city, it becomes an administrative center. You'll see here I ransack one, and it gives my enemy 10 war support. Similarly, destroying one of their districts would have given them 5 war support. Why is this so key? Well, you can use these ransacks to give your enemy just a little bit of war support, so you can prolong the war until you've captured all the cities you want, and then approach the bargaining table with a higher war score and the cities you occupy cheaper on the negotiation table.
And that's it. That's been my whole guide on war support and forced surrender. I really hope you enjoyed the content. I gotta give a quick shout out to these channels that inspired some of the stuff you saw here today. I also want to mention that on my channel, I have a ton more videos on key combat concepts like sieging, combat strength, line of sight, all things that are not well explained and you could benefit from learning. I play Humankind every day and post a video on it once a week. If you like the content you saw, feel free to hit like or subscribe. I'm still a super small channel, so everything helps me out. And if you leave a comment, I'll personally reply to each and every one. Oh, and I almost forgot. I've handpicked the videos you see on screen right now as ones I know you're going to love. So if you got a minute, give them a look. Enjoy!